Cheryl Sleboda. I'm a fiber artist and a quilter, and I've also worked in the comic book industry for nearly 20 years. And one thing that I'm noticing at a lot of the comic book conventions that I attend is all of the people dressed up in costumes or cosplay. So one of the things I wanted to show you today was a little bit about how to put lights into your next cosplay project. So what you're going to look for are a kit that comes with everything that you need, and what you're going to get in that kit is an LED light, conductive thread, a battery holder, and a battery. And that's all you need in order to light up your project. So what we're going to do first is talk a little bit about conductive thread. Conductive thread is a little bit different than your regular metallic thread. Metallic thread is meant to be on the top of your project, so it's supposed to be very shiny. But conductive thread is a metallic type of thread where it's all metal all the way through the thread. And that's meant so that you can actually use it to conduct electricity from your battery to your light. And trust me, you do not need to be an engineer or a computer expert or anything to figure out how to light your project up. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your LED light, and there's one long leg on the LED, and that's going to be the positive leg on your LED. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the positive leg and connect that to the positive on the battery. To do that, we're going to need to mark this positive leg with a permanent marker. And all you're going to do is you're going to color that just a little bit, and you're just going to make sure that you can see which of these legs is the positive later, because what we're going to do next is take a pair of needle nose pliers, and we're just going to take the very end and we're going to curl it up. So you're just going to keep twisting just so that it curls up. So you can see that once it's all curled up, you're not going to be able to tell which one was your positive and which one was your negative anymore. So that's why we use the permanent marker. So once you're done curling the legs and they look like that, you're just going to take the tip of your pliers and you're going to bend them out so that it creates little feet that you can sew through. And I'll show you by setting that down. You can see how it sticks up and you have your two connections there. That's going to be for where you're going to sew through. Now, I like so that my lights are on the top of my project, and all of the circuitry or the conductive thread and batteries, those are all on the back of my project. So I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut a little bitty hole and this would be your top fabric. So we're just going to create that hole, and you're going to push your LED up from the back. So there we go. Now on the back, you're going to look, and you're going to look for that marker that you made, that mark that you colored one of those legs. That's going to be the positive leg. And you're going to take your battery holder, you're just going to position that. And on the battery holder, it's a little hard to see since it's super, super tiny, but this side here is the positive and this side is the negative. And they are marked on there, they're just super tiny, you can't see it. So you take your needle and a length of your conductive thread, got that here, got a knot in the end of my conductive thread. Now I like to start on the battery holder side, and I'm just going to sew through the little post. And what happens here is you just take a few stitches, all right? And that secures the battery holder so you don't have to keep holding it with your finger. And then you're just going to take some running stitches right over to your LED leg. And you're just going to go through the LED leg. This is the positive side. So we can see our marker mark, and we're just going to go through a few times and make sure it's nice and tight, because you want connection from this metal post all the way to that metal post using your conductive thread. So we're going to make a knot and tie that off, and I'm going to trim the length nice and short. You don't want long tails sticking out, because what will happen is if this long tail was too long, it could reach over and touch the other side, and that would short your whole circuit out. So then you're going to do the other side. Now this is the negative side, and again, I'm starting at the battery. We're going to just take a couple of stitches just to hold that in place. Now remember, this is all going to be in the back of the project, so this could be in between the lining of your top of, let's say, a jacket or a shirt. And this is going to, you can sandwich this in between the lining and the top of your fabric. So you never would see any of the electronics. You just get to see the really cool light up parts. So we're just going to keep making that connection, and again, you want to pull that nice and tight. We're going to create a knot, and once we tie this off, there we go, just trim it. Now you can use a little bit of seam sealer here on each of these just so that the knots don't unravel. This is sort of a slippery thread, so it could potentially unravel. You're going to take your battery and you're going to insert it positive side up, and you're going to get a light that actually lights up on your project. So again, you can put this into quilts like I have here and some of my quilts that light up. This is a simple one light project. We also have some single lights in the collar of one of the dresses here, so you can see those in the collar. And this whole technology is actually advancing, and so if you're interested in making lights turn on and off or flash in a particular way, you would do that using some sort of computer chip. And what I have here is a computer chip set that you can buy. This is made for the wearables space, so people who are making wearables that light up. And this piece right here is the computer chip that drives the lights in your project. So what you would do, and you would just break these apart from the board, and you would just do that with your craft knife. And once you sew them back into your project, just like I have here, you can put your battery in and they flash in a particular way. What's really neat about this particular one is that this board can be programmed with your cell phone. So you would just push the little button, hold your cell phone over it, and it will program it so that the lights flash in a different pattern if that's what you're looking for. And what I did in this dress right here, this is a dress that I got from the thrift store, and it had all the beautiful beading already on it, and I just added lights into the beading so that you could see the different so you could wear that to a prom. It would be great for bridal. You could do all sorts of fashion. Or again, it's great for costumes. So one of the things I want to show you is here, this accessory that I'm made for this costume here. And just so that you think about where you're going to be placing your lights. So I have the light here. How I get to that light is here in the band, and I actually made this with hook and loop tape so that you can get to the battery, replace the battery, and then once it's all put back together, you just take your additional accessories, and there you go. So I hope this has given you some ideas of what you can do for your next cosplay project where you can actually add lights and light it up.